I'm Gerald Bentley. Welcome into the KC Soccer Report here on Sports TV Plus. We're looking ahead to a week that has Sporting Kansas City on the heels of their surprising win against the LA Galaxy without the benefit of a shot on goal. They win 1-0 because of an own goal. They now travel out to Portland to take on longtime rival, longtime top of the table team in the Western Conference of the MLS, the Portland Timbers. And then the Kansas City Current comes in on the heels of a really surprising two-game losing streak. They fell 1-0 to the Seattle Reign, ended that two-game road trip 0-2, a loss to the North Carolina Courage, a loss to the Seattle Reign. They look to get it back on track on a Mother's Day special at home at CPKC Stadium against Bay FC. We'll start off by listening to Kerry Zavagnin post-game from, like I said, that surprising Sporting Kansas City win, 1-0 against the LA Galaxy. It's a game where the Galaxy controlled the possession for 78% of the time. Very unusual for Sporting Kansas City. And Sporting Kansas City had a different formation. They came out in a defensive-oriented formation, 4-1-4-1. So 4 defenders, 1 defensive mid, 4 mids, and only 1 striker. That was Dejan up front. Not surprisingly, that created a very defensive game. They did end up winning. We'll hear from Kerry Zavagnin if that's a sign of things to come or if they're getting into more of a matchup style of play. Well, let's start off by listening to Kerry Zavagnin postgame after that 1-0 win against the LA Galaxy at Children's Mercy Park last Saturday.
Kerry, I know it's maybe unorthodox, but you guys have won a game without taking a shot. Can you speak maybe to the defensive effort that you saw from the back line? Especially it seemed like Jansen and Robbie had really, really good games.
100%. I'd first like to congratulate the LA Galaxy on a well-played game. They are the worthy champions, and I know their season hasn't been going the way they would have liked it to, but we knew it was going to be a difficult game. They're very good in attack. They have good attacking players, and they have a style of play. So we knew we were going to have to absorb some of that today. And talking about just the back line, Jansen and Robbie, they were both individually fantastic, but the collective of the group today showed a grit and a determination of what it takes to win games when you might not be at your best on the day. And so that's a look that we haven't seen recently, and something certainly to build off of, especially as we go on the road, having to be in those situations. We've proven today that we can defend the game, limiting them to 1 shot on goal. We can defend the game. Obviously, on the attacking side, we would have liked more today, but we have to look at the positives, and certainly the positives are that we defended like champions today.
The shutout, too. I know Pulskamp playing against the Galaxy is always kind of big for him, being his hometown team, as much as Dejan gets talked about. But the one save he makes there is a really big one. Just you to speak to him coming up clutch in that kind of one. You mentioned the 1 shot on target, but that's the big moment that he needed to come up in. Yeah,
excellent moment, and he was busy. The ball was down there today, so it wasn't like he had a lot of time to relax, and so his concentration for 90 minutes was tremendous, especially given this is his first real year as a starting goalkeeper, and he's handled these moments, and he's growing, he's trending in the direction of being a guy that the defense can look back and really rely upon. And so I think today this only improves his stature within the group, and deservedly so, because he's worked exceptionally hard at that.
Staying with Pulskamp early on in the season, maybe wasn't quite as decisive at times, especially on set pieces, and it feels like he's certainly growing in that confidence. Do you see that week over week with him, and just what do you think about him just really taking the reins and establishing himself as the number 1?
Yeah, it takes goalkeepers. They mature. It takes them a little bit longer to really get into that zone of being reliable, because one mistake and the finger's pointing at you. So there's a lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility in the position, and for him to do that at the age at which he's doing is very good for him, very good for us. And really it speaks about his determination and mentality to be better every day. So it's great that everyone can see and the goalkeeper transforming right before our eyes, because we know what he does behind the scenes to improve himself.
And then staying back there defensively, you already mentioned Miller a little bit, but we've seen a couple times now sort of that emotion and that fire come out of him in big moments against St. Louis and again tonight when he held off to win a goal kick. Just as a rookie, what are you seeing from him, not just in terms of skill on the field, but his mentality and approach?
We knew it from day one. We knew we had a good person, a good player, and a competitor, and so that's not a surprise. He's got a great personality, both within the group, but on the field, he has a presence. And the thing with rookies, first-year players that are playing the professional game, it's hard to sustain the mental capacity you need to sustain yourself over the course of the year. He's at the end of his college season, right? And so he's not used to going week in and week out with the kind of pressure. And so sometimes that takes a little bit longer, but we're pleasantly surprised that being in a position just like the goalkeeper is young, he's young, and he's really transforming himself into a quality player for this league.
Hello, Coach. Congratulations on the win. So what was the game plan for this match? So you got a lead very early. So after that, you kind of gave up the ball. So that was the game plan in the second half, or you were just forced to it?
Our intention was to come out quick. We were at home, and in recent weeks, we've pretty much started games on the front foot, being a little bit more direct, being more decisive in taking chances going forward, and we wanted that within the game. It would have been nice to have the ball a little bit more. We're trying to build towards that of being a team, and we've shown moments where we can actually possess the ball very well, but possession for the sake of possession really isn't in our mindset at the moment. If we were going to take the ball and go backwards, it was to open more spaces. But a credit to the Galaxy, they made it difficult for us. It wasn't our best day with the ball, and so we put ourselves under more pressure than we probably could have or should have. But at the end of the day, the intention of the players was to try to create goal-scoring opportunities. And I know we've made the record books today in terms of not getting a shot and still winning the game. And certainly that wasn't drawn up that way, and we don't expect ever to win a game like that again. But when you have a trust, a belief, a commitment, and an emotional feeling that you bring to the game, strange things can happen, and they end up on your side. And so that's what I'm probably most proud of, is that piece, that element, was really good today. The set pieces was really good today. And we know we have to get better. We're still a flawed team, right? We've gotten results in recent weeks, but we've had to prove that we can now create better scoring opportunities. We've had to now prove that we can defend well, and now we're searching for a better version of ourselves and trying to put those aspects that we've improved upon and make a complete game.
Now, looking ahead to this matchup against the Portland Timbers, here's Coach Zavagnin talking ahead, looking forward to that game against Portland. And then we'll hear from that defensive midfielder in the last game, Jacob Bartlett, homegrown talent for Sporting Kansas City from nearby Overland Park, Kansas, part of the Metro and KC. Here's Kerry Zavagnin, though, talking about that matchup against Portland. Portland is sitting up in a much higher position in the conference. They're number 3 in the conference right now with 5 wins, 3 draws, and 3 losses. They're sitting 3rd on the table. Sporting Kansas City is moving up. They're up to number 12 in the conference. 3 wins, 1 draw, 7 losses. If the season ended today, they are 5 points out of the playoffs. So 2 games, and they're back in the playoff line, which would be an enormous improvement from where the season started. Here's Kerry.
Yeah, I think we've been working specifically on the defensive side of the ball. I know we scored a lot of goals in previous weeks, but the defensive organization has always been the key foundational piece to any sort of success you're going to have moving forward. So we've been intentional about that. We've organized the group, but what I saw on the weekend was much more than that, of whether the back 4 can cover each other or the midfield 3 can block the middle. It was the collective spirit of the group that defended every action that came their way, and we haven't seen that in a long time. And the spirit of the group you could see at the end of the game. They were, of course, proud to win the game, but even more proud from the defensive aspect, when especially a lot of criticism has been made about this team and how they can't defend. And I think you saw a little bit of that release from the guys that in their own way said, maybe, we can, and we will.
Jansen specifically was one that stood out to me, and I think after the game he credited you with kind of help coaching him along and talking about some of the kind of through these first few games as a pro. What's been that like from your perspective?
Well, I appreciate the credit coming my way. It's all him. He's the one that plays the game. He's the one that's in the fire, and he's the one that needs that mental fortitude. And so not just myself, the rest of the staff has been working with him to try to become a better version, a better player. It's not easy coming in as a rookie in the position of a center back with that kind of responsibility, because it's a little bit easier further up the field to make a few mistakes and not really get noticed or punished for it. And so that responsibility with Jansen, with John, with Robbie, with Bart, all of those young players, they've taken it on extremely well, and Jansen's one of those.
How do you balance though, like maybe the leash for players and like allowing them to go through growing pains and maybe make mistakes at times, while also like being results-driven business, and like at some point the results have to come too?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the balance is a couple of things. One is that you take it by the day. No matter what you've done previously, you're still focused on today and becoming a better version of yourself. And the other thing is not to always coach the outcome or look at the outcome as the measuring stick of quality. And so I know, as you say, it's a results-oriented business, but if you do a lot of the little things and you get better at a lot of the little things, you're going to turn those into results. And so I'd like to take that approach, not just with the team, but individuals as well. They're going to make mistakes. It's a game of mistakes, but our players are focused on improving, and I think you just saw that in some of the individuals this weekend.
Gary, it's the second time you're facing Portland since you took over. Do you see this as an opportunity maybe to further show the strides that this group has taken in the last month?
Yeah, don't look at it as a revenge or getting them back for what they did at our place. We're looking and we're focused on improving ourselves. We know that we're a different team than we were a month ago. We're also going there, which is a very difficult place to play, and any place in MLS is difficult to get a result on the road. But we are familiar with them. We know what they're good at. Some of their shortcomings, but Phil and his staff have done an extremely good job, great job for that matter of getting that group in the right headspace and really maximizing the quality that they have in the group.
What kind of stood out from that last game? I know there were some defensive mistakes, a missed penalty. You guys were in the match, so do you feel like you're still well prepared to go up and get a result in Portland?
I think so. We reflecting on that game, it was a learning lesson for us, particularly how we started the second half. And it was really after that game that we started emphasizing more and more the key moments of games, whether it's the start of the game on the kickoff, whether it's after a goal is scored, how do you react off of that? It's a throw-in. It's little actions over the course of the game that you have to be incredibly tuned into against this team, just because they're so athletic and they're so powerful and they have difference makers in a lot of areas of the field.
What's the biggest progression you've seen in this team over the last few weeks?
Well, I think the group has, obviously when there's a change, there's this wait and see. Some guys will say, something new, I'm ready to go anywhere with you. And then other guys are, well, let's see what you have to offer. And then the collective is, we want to believe again, we're not sure if we do. And of course, you need success along the way to really cement that home. And I think what I've seen over the last number of weeks is a group that is willing, that really wants to, that is starting to generate belief, not just in how we can get results, but in each other. And when you have that spirit, I think I referenced that after the game the other day, it means something to you when you accomplish, and it hurts when you lose. And that feeling within the group, I can feel it.
You talked a little bit about the defensive spirit. Jansen, after he shielded that ball and got dragged down, he gave big fists to the crowd. He was excited about that. Do you like those kind of things when players are showing that emotion?
I love that every individual, whatever he brings in his unique way, is allowed to express that, because that's what this game is all about. You're supposed to enjoy it. You're supposed to have fun. And people that come to the game and see that, and coaches that see it on the sideline, especially when it's your player, it gives you the energy to want to be better and to do more. And so I think he's just he's infectious when he does that, and I think he does it in a genuine way, and we need more of that.
Well, in the last couple of games, you guys have won with 5 goals, and you guys have won with no shots on goal. So what's it say about the group to win in different ways?
Well, the mark of a good team, I firmly believe, is winning on not your best days, and certainly, you know, the aesthetics of the game. People are usually trending towards the attacking side, and more goals are better goals. But I also have an appreciation when you can defend like we did in that manner and get a result. Because at the end of the day, the teams that are the most balanced, that can find ways to win in different ways, are the ones that are there at the end. And so what we've happened to do in the short time that we've been together is we've shown different ways, and we've shown, you know, strengths in every aspect of the game. Set pieces, even in the last game, were tremendous. And so if we can put all of that together to make a complete game, we'll be a difficult team to play against.
How do you focus on getting that completeness on both ends of the field?
Well, you try not to take any one aspect of the game for granted. Just because you're good at it doesn't mean you need to turn away from it. It's been a balancing act in this first month or so to really emphasize which area needed the most attention. And so we needed to generate more scoring opportunities to take some of the pressure off of the defensive group, and we've done that. And so now the defensive group has rewarded or given back to the attackers that we can sustain and hold a result if you do your job on the front. So I think it's a balance over the course of the year of making sure that our game is intact, and we're constantly getting better at it.
Now that you've been in this gig a bit, are you having fun? Are you enjoying?
I've been having fun since the first day. I've been part of the sport, part of the club for such a long time, but at its core is I love the game, and I love talking about the game. I love coaching the game, and all of those things I hope transmits to the players in the group, because I want them to love it as well. And if we can create that kind of environment, as I said, it's infectious, not just to the players, not just to the staff, but to the fans and the league and the game itself.
I felt like Sunday, I felt you were like the most animated I've seen you on the sideline there, especially down the stretch. Like,
yeah, I think the group, you know, I don't doubt their effort and their intention and their approach and their commitment, but some days when you're just not at your best, and we had to change a few things over the course of the game. It probably went relatively unnoticed, but we changed our formation 3 times. And we had a couple of breaks, and we brought the group together, and it was really trying to encourage them and push them along when it would have been easy for them to succumb to the pressure. But we did it as a group.
Just how are Kyrie and Joaquin progressing?
Good. They're both good. They're both out on the field. I expect them to both be in training by the middle of the week.
Logan?
Had a scan yesterday. I haven't gotten the results back. It doesn't seem like a long-term injury. I think he pulled himself out before it was a serious thing. First indications are that it's not long-term.
Now, let's hear from Jacob Bartlett talking about being put in that starting position as a defensive midfielder. A different position. Sporting hasn't, I can't recall them running out this formation more than once or twice in the last decade, but it did work. They got the results thanks to that own goal. Here's Jacob talking about the impact of getting a win and how that sets up moving forward.
Yeah, I think from the first whistle, we were together from the first whistle all the way to the end. I think being together and understanding that sometimes offensively it may not be going our way, but if we stay solid in the back, we'll have a good chance of winning games. So
it feels like, you know, there were some moments there where it wasn't necessarily the prettiest defending, but you guys just had that mentality. I mean, what does it say about this group that you guys are able to have that mentality just to do whatever it takes?
Yeah, I think this group has a lot of hunger and a lot of competitive drive. And I think it showed in our last game for sure. Jansen and Robbie definitely stepped up big time, and I thought they had great games.
Jake, I know it's only been a couple weeks since you last played Portland, but how much has this group changed in just those few short weeks since the first time you played them here?
Yeah, I think obviously that result didn't go our way. I think we played a good game. obviously not everything's going to go your way, but we have high hopes for this weekend, and I think we have a good build-up for training this week, so we're going to be ready.
How's the confidence of this team right now coming off of you guys played well in Cincinnati and then a win against LA?
Yeah, it's I would say it's, to be honest, it's been high this whole season. Through the highs and lows, we've kept steady, and obviously another win helps us, builds confidence going in this weekend for sure.
Tim was talking there a minute ago saying he can't really remember the last time you guys didn't score in a game. I mean, what kind of confidence does that give you as a more defensive player, knowing that the guys are probably going to find a way to put one in?
Yeah, our attacking presence this year has been amazing. They've done a great job, and they're going to continue to do it. As long as we can stay strong in the back, which we have been, and keep building clean sheets, I think we'll have a strong year for sure.
Well, Tim hit on this, but even John maybe a little bit after the game, but I heard you say it, the togetherness, the group, and the kind of the collective fight together. Do you feel like at any point this season that like took a jump forward, like you guys felt more together as a unit, and like what kind of point was that?
Yeah, I think obviously for me, the St. Louis game was a huge turnaround for us. It kind of gave us an edge and a knowledge that we can beat teams and be one of the best teams in the league. And I think we're playing with that now, and it's pretty visible to everyone watching. So.
Then as we wrap things up for Sporting Kansas City, looking ahead to this matchup with Portland, here's veteran back Tim Liebold talking about the turnaround, how the season started to where they are now. Like I said, only 2 matches out of playoff contention with tons of games to go. We're 11 games in. That means there's 21 remaining. There's a lot of season ahead. Here's Tim Liebold talking about it.
Tim, I know not a conventional way to win every time with not taking a shot, but just you came in a little bit into that game. What defensively was working for you guys?
I feel like we did a good job the first 25-30 minutes. Galaxy wasn't creating a lot of opportunities. They had probably 1 or 2 half chances. One of them was very saved good by John, and after that it was just we didn't have that power, that body language that we had a couple weeks before. Usually when we score a goal, we try to go again and go after them, but we didn't. So I feel like we are invited them doing more for the game that we should have done, and I think at the end we tried to defend the result. We didn't obviously had a shot on goal, but who cares? We won 1-0, and that's all that matters.
What defensively have you seen kind of shift in the group over the last couple of games? It seems like goals that have gone in the Cincinnati game were kind of maybe fluke or brilliant moments where you tip your cap.
Mm-hmm.
Not really much through the run of play.
Yeah, I think it's a collective. I think our wingers, our strikers, it starts with them. If they want to defend, it's way easier for the midfielders and for the back four to shift from left to right, from right to left. They did a great job because they knew we weren't the best with the ball on that day, so they were trying to defend as well. Even when Galaxy, I think they made a change a 75th or 80th minute when they played with 3 in the back and two wide wing backs, and that's very difficult to defend sometimes. So they helped us a lot in this game, and just the power that we had, our central backs did a great job. Then you need a goalkeeper like John was on that day who made some important saves for us, and all together I think that was leading us to win this game.
You had to jump in, I believe it was on a set-piece opportunity, coming into the game quickly off the bench. You didn't have necessarily the same amount of time to warm up. I guess, how did you prepare yourself to just jump right in?
I mean, you can prepare yourself for those moments. You're preparing yourself during the week just to be ready. It doesn't matter if it's just for 1 minute or for 90 minutes. So, I was ready because I want to play. Everyone wants to play. And, in that scenario, I was lucky. That I got my minutes, that we won the game, and I think there was a good result of the day.
Tim, what stands out about the last time you played Portland just a couple weeks ago, and what's kind of the biggest key to maybe getting a result this time around on the road?
I mean, they're a super athletic team. We saw them at home. You can give them any space. They have fast wingers, they have fast strikers, they have a like a playmaker on the 10. So they're a difficult team to beat this year, but I think we can go there with confidence. We won in San Jose. We played a very good game in Cincinnati. So we just won another game at home. So I think like there's a lot of confidence with us right now, and why shouldn't we able to get some points over there on the road? So yeah, we're going there to win, and I think that's all that matters.
In the last couple of games, you guys have won with 5 goals, and you won with no shots on goal. So what's it kind of say about you guys that you could win in such 2 different ways?
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I feel like the San Jose game, we scored 5, but they could have scored like 7 as well. So, and in that game, it was just a collective. I feel like that we did way better than the weeks before. So we just have to keep that in mind, that even if we're not scoring, even if we're not having a shot on goal, that we still can win a game. And I don't know when the last time was when we didn't score. So I think, yeah, that should be our mindset, defending as a collective, not try to let the opponents go through like we did probably the weeks before. And I think, yeah, that's a good idea for the next couple of weeks, even with the lot away games that we have. So just stay like a little bit more compact and try to defend as a group. I think that's a good idea.
Now on to the Kansas City Current. They come back to their palatial home field, CPKC Stadium, on the river in downtown Kansas City. Mother's Day special, nationally televised by the NWSL, kicks off at 11:50 Central Time, 12:50 Eastern Time. KC Current taking on Bay FC. The Current, despite losing 2 straight, are still sitting on the top of the table. They've won 3 of their last 5. They're 5-0-2, 5 wins, no draws, 2 losses, and they are still, even with that shutout against Seattle, sitting at the top of the table in goals scored with 14 goals scored. They've only allowed 5 for a differential of 9. On the other side, Bay FC, 1 win, 1 draw, 3 losses in their last 5. They come in at 2-2-3. So this is a great opportunity to get well. Temwa Chawinga, the dominant striker for Sporting Kansas City, did get back into the game. She was a second half substitute. Still getting Bia into the mix, and Michelle Cooper's missed the last couple games. So there's reasons why the Current's been scuffling a little bit. They're also seeing teams playing extreme park the bus style against them and really trying to lock them down. So they have some things they need to work on, some adjustments that need to be made. We'll start off by listening to Coach Vlatko after the loss to Seattle, 1-0, on that goal kicked in on the set piece, on the corner kick that decided the game. Here's Vlatko.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we got scored on set play, and second game in a row, set play, a corner kick decides the outcome of the game. But you know, it's definitely something we need to work on. I mean, it's a big sign that that we have to be better at that. I thought that we were very good early on in the season. We were able to defend well every set play that came in. We were dominating everything, but now 2 games in a row, we're getting hurt by it. So definitely something we need to do better. But other than that, I don't think there was any threat to our goal or something that I felt like we need to be better at.
On the other side of the ball, it just felt like at times in a perfect world, Michelle Cooper or Michelle Prince or Temwa out there probably looks a little bit different. But it didn't seem like you guys were able to create as many chances. Was that you guys? Was it the way that Laura had, the range set up to?
I mean, it's always a little bit of both, right? Fair play to them, I thought they defended well. And on the other side, we were not as precise with the final passes. I also don't think we thought the space behind the back line enough. And like you said, Temois and Michel, that's what their specialty is. Like they are dangerous for the opponent or the space behind the back line, and usually that's what opens up the space for the other players. Where now it was just not enough.
Daniel, Thad, any other questions?
Yeah, this is Thad. Hey, Coach, sorry for the loss. Lacho got the start tonight, and probably a little bit of a surprise position for me at least. Can you just talk about why she started there and what you saw from her?
Yeah, so Lacho has been training for that position for a long time now. She played even in friendly game when we had few weeks ago against the U20 national team. So we have been preparing her for that position, and one thing that she does well is eliminating pressure, eliminating the first press, which I thought she did a good job combining with players, defended well. There was nothing there that she did that made us questioning her ability to play in that position.
Anything else for Coach?
Just one more along those lines. Just it seemed like Izzy and Ellie are healthy. Were you just trying to look at different things there that you could at the fullback position?
Yeah, they're both healthy, and they were both getting a little bit overloaded in the previous games that we had, and it was a good opportunity for us to see someone like Lacho in. And now that Hallie Mace is fully healthy, and with the minutes that previously she had, we could afford to play her for 90 minutes, which we ended up doing.
Post game, we did get to hear from Vennesa DiBernado and Labota in an unusual situation, talking about the team struggling. They are looking forward, though. Like I said, they got this big matchup coming up against Bay FC at home on Mother's Day. Here's Vennesa and Lo, and they're still confident about where they're going.
Some of the goals you guys can see, they're kind of similar to each other in some of those moments. How do you guys kind of right the ship and get going on the right track again?
Yeah, I mean, we got to look internally. There's obviously things we need to fix, and it's hard, but we'll have a couple days now. We have a little bit longer week of training, so I bet defending set pieces is going to be huge. So yeah, that's on the coaches, and hopefully now the players can execute the next game plan better. Yeah, I mean, I think not to make anything big of it. I think we had a lot of great opportunities. We were moving the ball. We were finding pockets. We were playing the way we enjoy to play. It was just in the final third we couldn't execute. So, I mean, we're going to probably work on that as well. But there were a lot of moving pieces. We said once they scored their goal, we started actually enjoying the ball a little bit more. So maybe just focus on that. Some touches were off, and that happens when you're on turf, but we still got to, get the game through the line and at least get a point at the end of the day.
So that was looking back. Now let's look forward to the game coming up. Vlatko spoke with the Kansas City media at practice about where they're standing and, hitting on the health of the team, if they're ready to go and fire on all cylinders. Like I said, Temo's been banged up, Michelle Cooper's been banged up, and Bia just getting back from what was a season-ending injury. She had her first starts in these last two games. She's a dominant player as well, so we'll see what she can add to the table.
Just with the way things went on Friday, what's been the message this week, and also maybe not letting two losses in a row kind of snowball?
Yeah, obviously, just because we lost the game. I've said this, it doesn't make us a bad team by any means, but it is definitely an opportunity to get better. There were a couple of moments there that I felt that we can improve on, or I feel like we can improve on. I feel like we can get better, and we can use those moments to get better for the rest of the season. But after all, credit to the Reign. They came out with a plan that more so not to lose the game than win the game, and they found a way at the end to get one by. But for us, overall, the main focus has been just creating more opportunities, and the defending part. I actually was happy with them. We limited a team that is very good on in a run of play. I think they only had total of 2 shots, but that's the game of soccer. We've seen this happen before, and we're just going to have to be focused for 90 minutes and not allow any goals.
I know a lot of times teams will say, "Oh, we've learned something about ourselves after they win," but maybe a team that's used to winning, you get a couple of losses. What do you feel like you've learned about the team over these last few weeks?
It was actually interesting for us to see that our line of confrontation for some reason was a little bit lower than usually. So we certainly spent a little bit of time working on or being a little bit more aggressive with the line of confrontation. I mean, to be fair, the personnel changes that a little bit. When you don't have Temoa 100% or for the amount of time that we had it in the past. Cooper is out, Michelle Prince is out. I mean, those are the players that are actually pushing the line and are a little bit more intense and more aggressive in the defense, which allow us to win the ball a little bit higher and makes us as a team a little bit more intense. So that has something to do with it, but we believe in all the players that we have on the team, and believe that we were able to do that with anyone that we have on the roster.
Do you see this as an opportunity, though, for someone else to step up into those roles?
Yes, absolutely. That's why when we're preparing, we're preparing 26 players. We're not preparing only 11 for moments like this, and they are doing well. It's just little details sometimes that sometimes it's just an individual physical abilities. I mean, we know Temo is faster. We know Cooper is faster than most players in the league, and they will just present themselves differently or impose themselves a little bit different than some of the other players. But all these players are capable and have ability to play or fit in certain way.
You never want to have all those players unavailable, but when you do have those players out, how much of an opportunity does it give you to learn more about the players who are getting in there?
It's like I said, it's an opportunity for them and to fit in a slightly different way. But they know our game model, they know our system, and they execute very well. I mean, we have someone like Haley Hopkins coming in the game against North Carolina and scoring an incredible goal. And I thought that she executed things very well. It's just a little bit different than some of these other players.
You talk about, you said, clearly not a bad soccer team, it's a great soccer team, but how important is it, though, to not let streak of losing get going, because it is become a little bit of a mental thing.
Yes, it is. It is a mentality, it is a mindset, and we certainly going to do anything possible not to allow this to happen in the next game, because it will impact you. It's the same thing with winning. You win a couple of games and all of a sudden you feel so good, and sometimes you find a way to win the third one. And losing can impact you in the same way, just negatively. So we got to make sure that we do anything possible to stop this.
How healthy is Michelle Cooper? When can we see her and Michelle Prince?
Yeah, Michelle is actually healthy. She's in full training. Michelle Cooper is going to take another couple of weeks, and Temoa, you guys are going to be able to see she's not going to train today. And unfortunately, she was not even 100% in the last game. Even for the 30 minutes that she played, she gave us
all she could, but it was not her 100%, and it's a question mark for the weekend. We're probably going to be able to say on Friday where she's at. Yep.
Anything else?
Yep. Thank you.
And now, finally, let's hear from a couple of the key contributors for the current. Hallie Mace, one of your backs, and Debhina, an attacking mid who's really played the best soccer she has as a member of the current so far this year. Here's Hallie and Debhina looking ahead to that big matchup.
I know 2 losses in a row, something that hasn't happened for this team in a while. I'm just curious, what's the conversation been like amongst the group and not letting a slide continue to slide?
I think once we do lose a game, we kind of just put it in the past and don't really think about it too much and just focus on the things we need to work on in practice.
Yeah, I agree with Haley. I think now it's just like focusing on ourselves and focus what we can do better and put the 2 games past and learn from it, and of course like come back stronger.
You guys have been able to score a lot. I know it's the first time you guys held scoreless. Just what maybe changed about this game that made it difficult? And I know you're missing a lot of high-powered players too with injury. How much of an effect does that have on things?
Yeah, I think we have like a few injuries, which of course like make difference, and I think the teams too, they have been able to change how they play against us, and I think you need to expect that like going forward, other teams might too also change the way how play to play against us, and of course you need to do with that, and like you said, you need to be prepared for the next games.
Breaking down a low block is not easy.
No. I think we just need to take it like head on and expect that from other teams now and just keep working on it. And I think we are creating a lot of chances. We just have to put them away when we do get them.
Any better way to get back on the right track than coming home to Kansas City?
Nope, it's lovely to come play at home.
Yeah, for sure. It's always so great to play in front of our fans, you know, our community. So I'm sure you're going to be ready and then do a good job.
How do you try and break down a low block? Like what's some of the things that you guys say, okay, if they're going to sit deep on us, we've got to start doing this?
I think like a lot of patience, you know, and then try to find the perfect time to break the line. And like he said, like we create a lot of chance, we just need to put on.
Awesome. And then Deb, a couple in the back. There's a reporter in Kansas City who's sent along some questions on our behalf, who's working on a feature piece for the 2026 Men's World Cup as we're about a year out. And she had a few questions about sort of your World Cup experience. So for those who haven't experienced a World Cup atmosphere, how would you best describe it?
Wow, it's the best feeling, huh? Like you're defending your national team, you play for your family, your friends. So I think that time when you're there, just like I look just like to enjoy, you know. And I think playing a World Cup, like I think is the top that a player can get, and of course like being able to do that, like I was like feel proud for doing that.
What aspect of the World Cup are you most excited for Kansas City to experience, as Kansas City is going to host several games next summer in the World Cup?
I mean, they're lucky to have Kansas City, you know, like we have like a great environment, like the facility, the stadium, everything. So like I'm excited also like for the people here to have this experience and like seeing like different cultures and everything.
And walking out on that field on the World Cup stage wearing the colors of Brazil, what did that mean to you to be able to do that and have that experience at that level to represent the country?
Like I said, I think that moment just like not just my dream come true, but also my family, friends. So in that time, I just want to enjoy and do my best for them, for the young players, young kids that looking forward for us, and you know, just enjoy.
Awesome. And then last one from her, the Currents training facility will serve as a base camp for one of the teams. How special is it that a team, an international team, will have access to these facilities here in Kansas City to serve as their base camp?
Yeah, like I said, like they're so lucky, you know, like for us, like having this like every single day, and like the structure from the stadium and facility. It's awesome. So like I just want and wish them they can enjoy a lot this and have a great experience in Kansas City.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Well, with all of that, we're set for a big week of soccer from Kansas City. Kicks off with Sporting Kansas City taking on Portland in Portland. That's coming up Saturday night as Sporting faces the Timbers. Sporting now only 2 matches out of the playoff line. So they're definitely playing dramatically better under new interim head coach Kerry Zavagnin. We'll see if they continue this defensive-oriented style or if they go to more of a matchup and we get back to more of what we'd expect to see from Sporting with more of that direct offense and pushing forward. And then the Kansas City Current getting back on the pitch, trying to get back on the winning ways, playing at home, taking on Bay FC. That's coming up on Mother's Day, kicking off early, 11:50 in the morning, Central Time. You can always stay tuned to us right here on Sports TV Plus to stay up to date on the beautiful game in Kansas City, as well as lots of other sports from around the world. And you can always get it free on that True TV Plus app, on Sports.tv, on Carbon TV, on Watchy, and on a lot of other platforms. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the pitch. For KC Soccer Report, I'm Gerald Bentley. Have a great night.